My name is Patty Camarado. I was friends with Allison DeFeo, the girl who was murdered with the rest of her family here in 1974. This I'm going to show you is the mysterious red room that's so noted for in the book. This door, which they say was never here, was here, is here, always will be here, I suppose. This is the red room. Nothing more than a storage area where Allison and her brothers and I used to keep toys. Just red, you know? There's never any feeling of spirit presence or ghosts or any sort of thing like that. It's just a play area. Used to keep toys. Nothing more than that.
Why did it happen to me? I don't really know. I do not have the answers for that. I played places like Amityville. That, if you gave me $1 billion, I wouldn't go in the house again. Because it messed up my life and my husband's life. Terrible, horrible, horrible place. Oh, it was terrible. That's where I levitated with my body in that home.
If you ever see a Chinese restaurant menu in your neighbor's door, run. This is MenuGate, and they might be watching you right now. So this guy, Cody, recently moved into an apartment in Atlanta and is told the building is entirely full and has no vacancies. And one day he notices every single door in his hallway has a Chinese restaurant menu in it. 2 days go by, and not a single menu was removed from any doorway. Another day, they're all still there, and even the next day, and the day after that. 5 days go by, and the menus are still there. What's going on here? Has not one of his neighbors left their unit for 5 whole days? Or maybe it's, you know, just a glitch in the simulation that we're all a part of. Like the grocery simulation theory. Think about this for a sec. Have you ever actually seen your neighbors bringing their groceries inside? Because I don't think I have. Anyway, Cody goes down to the garage to investigate and realizes that almost all cars were completely covered in dust, like they've never been touched. Then at night, he goes outside to check for lights in the windows. Some of them are on, but most aren't. He peeks into one with the lights on and it has no furniture. Another day, the fire alarm goes off, so Cody exits his unit and sees no one in the hallways or outside his building. Maybe everyone just stayed inside in a building that's supposed to have 800 residents. A different time, he goes outside around his building to look around and notices every single coffee shop and little ground floor patio he walks by had exactly one man sitting at a table, wearing a suit, on the phone, all having the exact same conversation about some business presentation. Then another day, it seems like a new neighbor is moving in when he finds freshly packed furniture outside of a unit. Except this furniture just sits there for 3 days, then disappears. People start saying he's reading into things too much, that it's just a vacant complex with owners that plan on renting the units out. But then a past tenant DMs him, saying they also noticed shady business going down when they were living there. And a bunch of other weird shit happens in a short time span, like the stairway gets flooded, he finds biohazard bags in a truck outside, his parking garage gets closed down after a potential stabbing, and one time he actually sees someone else going into the stairwell and they disappear, leading some people to believe that this man is living in some sort of simulation. Obviously this could be totally fake and the guy just staged everything, or it could even just be a completely innocent empty building. Worth noting, this guy's also a legit lawyer and I can't see why he'd want to risk his reputation lying about something like this. But still, others claim it's something far more devious. An ongoing covert social psychology experiment to analyze how an unsuspecting subject would react to isolation and all the other funny business going down here. Possibly living in a completely staged pocket of society and even getting recorded by hidden cameras in a real-life version of The Truman Show.
These are the worst theme park accidents ever. Number 5, Six Flags, the Superman Tower of Power. Now this is one of those rides that just took you up and then dropped you really fast. But one day when it went up, one of the tension cables snapped, whipped around the feet of a 16-year-old girl and removed them immediately from the ankles. When the ride came back down, people saw a young girl in complete shock with her legs ending where her sneakers used to start. Number 4, Six Flags, the Texas Giant. On a part of the ride where this roller coaster started to descend, this lady was ejected from her seat. She fell 75 feet, struck a metal beam, and suffered severe trauma of the torso, which killed her pretty much instantly. But the worst part is, on the ride, her daughter was sitting next to her and saw her mother fall to her death. Number 3, Disneyland, Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin. While riding this ride with his parents, a 4-year-old named Brandon Zucker fell out of the car and was dragged underneath. He sadly suffered severe internal injuries, cardiac arrest, and brain damage. Number 2, Action Park everything. It was famous for rides like this, yeah, which caused so many riders to lose teeth that riders who went down it started getting new injuries of skin abrasion from the amount of human teeth scratching them inside of the ride. The park actually had to buy the town more ambulances to keep up with demand. The park is also responsible for 6 deaths. One man just flew off a ride and smashed his head straight into a rock. 3 people drowned in the wave pool, and an exposed underwater live wire electrocuted a man on the kayak ride. Number 1 is absolutely tragic, but first, if you like shit like this, please consider just dropping me a follow. It really helps me keep making these videos. Thank you. Number 1 is Dreamworld's River Rapids. So 4 adults and 2 children were riding the Thunder River Rapids when a malfunction caused a boat to flip while it was mounting the conveyor belt. The 2 children were thrown clear of the danger. They were absolutely fine. But 2 of the adults, their parents, were flung into the conveyor machinery, and the other 2 adults were flung under it. All 4 of the adults were trapped, crushed, and decapitated by the conveyor's machinery, all while their children watched.
They came out with like a whole bunch of predictions for 2024 after April 8th.
Yeah.
The last one is fucked. That's why I want to talk about it. Because first prediction, May 27, the second American Civil War will happen. It's gonna start in Texas. Another prediction is August 8th, massive versions of over 40 mysterious species will be discovered in a secret part of the Amazon rainforest. So these include like 6-foot butterflies,
The Titanoboa.
yeah, 3-foot long ants, 5-foot spiders. September 9, first ever category 6 tornado will hit the east coast of the United States. Now this one's wild.
Yeah, what
if
would
this
you say?
actually happens, I'm gonna be tripping.
What the fuck's he saying?
On October 25th, a famous musician will come out and reveal that they've faked their death.
Whoa.
Everyone, and he is said to be a legend of his time.
Oh,
It's either Michael Jackson
Or Tupac?
Or Tupac. Yeah, it's either one of them, bro. I think it might be
I
Tupac.
have money on Tupac. I go.
You know Monster Energy?
Yeah.
So on the Monster Energy can, right? The symbol of the M
It's a claw. It's supposed to be a claw.
is supposed to be a claw. Kinda. Every like line in the M, it doesn't attach. Have you noticed that? It doesn't
Yeah, it
attach.
doesn't attach.
It doesn't all attach.
Yeah.
So that symbol that like it looks kind of like the number 1, it goes down.
Yeah.
That's actually a Hebrew symbol that
shit.
translates to the number 6.
Okay.
So
it's
666.
No.
Now, Monster Energy, the O has a cross in it.
Yeah.
The O has a cross. Why would Monster have a cross in the drink?
I didn't even notice that.
Monster Energy, why would that have a cross? What does it have to do with like Christianity?
Yeah,
What does it have to do with like Catholicism?
Yeah.
Nothing. So the point of putting the cross there in the O, when you drink it bottoms up, the cross goes upside down.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa. I thank God I've never drank Monster in my life.
Crazy, bro.
Swear to God, I saw what looked like Slender Man. I swear to God, I saw Slender Man, dude. I swear to God, my eyes aren't playing tricks. You see him?
Is that where that area?
That's near the ritual area. Bro, I swear to God, I saw what looked like a fucking Slender Man figure. And that's near the ritual area, 100%. Bro, I gotta pee. I was literally just going to pee. This is exactly where kind of like I saw him, but like on the sand part, like. Oh! What the f? Is that him? There's something black there. Yo, I can't zoom in. Hold on, I gotta get my phone. So my camera.
Videos that can never be explained.
Oh my God.
If you can explain the next one, please go ahead.
Look up. Look. Up. Oh, no way. What is that? That is so scary. No, what is that? Oh, hell no.
You find that scary? Prepare for another clip. last clip is truly shocking. Click plus to see more.
There's a theory
Yeah.
that any rapper that comes out with a song called Armed and Dangerous,
No.
they die.
Nah. That's
Listen.
no. Oh, Juice.
Listen. Juice WRLD.
Pop had one.
Pop Smoke. Listen, bro. This is for Juice WRLD came out with a song, Armed and Dangerous.
Oh, shit.
He passed away.
Yeah.
Pop Smoke came with a song, Armed and Dangerous. He passed away. King Von
He had one
came
too?
out with a song, Armed and Dangerous. He passed away.
shit.
Now it gets deeper. It gets deeper.
What?
Listen. So Biggie, right?
Had one?
Biggie. He didn't have a song called Armed and Dangerous,
Yeah.
but he had a song called Notorious Thugs, right? The
Okay.
first line in the song, Gavin, the first verse, he says, Armed and Dangerous.
Oh,
Ain't too many can hang with us. Now listen, now what's even crazier, we talked about PNB, remember?
Yeah.
So, Meek Mill,
Oh yeah, Meek Mill.
he had a song, it wasn't called Armed and Dangerous, it was called Dangerous. It was called Dangerous though.
Oh shit.
And who's features on that song?
Who?
Who's featured?
PNB?
PNB Rock.
No.
Do you know the real story behind the Smurfs? The real story of the Smurfs is set in the 12th century. Gargamel, who was based on a real person, was born in Spain into a family too poor to raise a child, though they left him in a basket in front of a convent church. He was raised to be a priest, but over the years all the men who lived in the church with him passed away. Gargamel was depressed, so he got his cat and named it Azrael, which means fallen angel. The Smurfs are actually based on the 7 deadly sins. Just think about it. Greedy Smurf represents greed. Brainy Smurf represents envy and pride. Lazy Smurf is sloth. Grouchy Smurf is wrath. Sweets represents gluttony. And Smurfette is lust. Not only do they represent the 7 deadly sins, but Papa Smurf is the only one wearing red, a devilish color, so he's considered the devil of the pack. The Smurfs are trying to bring evil to humanity, and Gargamel is protecting the world from us. Follow for more dark origin stories.
So a little girl in Tijuana, she only prayed to Lucifer.
Don't say that name,
No,
fam.
okay,
I don't
fine,
like
my
that
fault,
name
my fault.
still.
Okay, I'll say the L word.
Yeah,
the L
yeah,
word.
yeah.
Okay, so when she was praying every day, she would pray for her mom, her dad, and the L word.
Yeah.
Right. But at the end of the prayer, she would always say that I'm always praying to him because no one prays for him.
Whoa.
Okay, now this is what happens. The mom one day overhears her saying this prayer, and she's like, "No, why are you saying that? I don't want anything to do with that. You only pray to God, right?" The girl was like, "No, I'm not gonna answer any questions. He's evading everything,
Yeah.
right?" So one day, she surprisingly died.
She does.
She died,
Okay.
and at her funeral, there's a guy there dressed up. He goes to the mom. "I'll pay for all the funeral expenses. It's on me. Don't worry."
Damn.
This is what he says.
Yeah.
The mom says, "Why are you doing that?" He's like, "Because she was the only one that prayed for me."
That's crazy.
And this is the crazier thing, fam.
Yeah.
When he signed for all the expenses,
Yeah.
the signature was just an L.
What the fuck?
This is based on a true story in New York. Yes. Have you heard of the one where it's like there was a babysitter and then the kids were upstairs and there was a murder calling on Halloween night?
Nah.
So it was like a babysitter in New York, right?
Yeah.
So he was chilling in the living room, right? He just put the kids away that he was babysitting. Ring, ring, ring. Picks up the phone. The guy was like, "Yo, have you checked on the kids lately?" The guy was like, "Huh?" Puts the phone down, fam.
Yeah.
The phone rings again. He's like, "Did you check the kids lately?" Puts the phone down again.
Oh my god.
Nah, he picks up the last one, the third one, the final one. He said, "Have you checked on the kids yet? Because I killed them and I'm coming to kill you soon."
What the fuck?
Puts down the phone again.
Oh shit.
He calls the cops.
Yeah.
The cops were like, "Yo, we're gonna trace this call. We're gonna trace this call. Stay on the line." Phone cuts out.
Oh.
He goes out his house
Yeah.
and meets the cops. He doesn't even check the kids. But what the cops found out, they go up, the kids are dead.
Damn.
If he didn't go out his house and met the cops, he would have been dead too.
That's fucked.
It was like a 34-year-old guy who was like actual murder.
Damn. Serial killers are messed up, man.
Fam, and on Halloween night, when all the kids are out by themselves.
Did I show you that lion that we were extracting DNA from in Zimbabwe? Did I tell you about this?
I don't think so.
Dude, this was pretty nuts. So in late last year, I was tracking this giant lion that this friend of mine had told me that he'd seen in Limpopo Valley of Zimbabwe, like just north of the South African border. And we surmised that there was a potential that this animal, because it was so big, it had such unique behavior in the fact that it was hunting buffalo and even juvenile elephants, might have remnant Cape lion DNA in it. Because the Cape lion is this extinct subspecies of African lion. It's bigger than your regular lion, and they would follow the elephant migrations north and then back south, but generally they hung out in South Africa. Anyway, long story short, we wanted to test the DNA of this lion to see if it had any Cape lion DNA in it, and it was this one individual animal. So we tracked it for over a week, hung bait every night, did the collars, did everything that you do to get a lion in, and then finally, this massive black maned lion came in, and I darted it from about 30 feet away from a blind. Yeah.
30 feet?
And there was also another Mandela effect that I recently found out.
Yeah.
You know, the popsicles with like the faces on it?
Oh yeah, the Spider-Man one, SpongeBob.
Yeah, exactly. So there was have you ever got the Dora Explorer one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and have you ever got the Boots one?
Yeah.
There's no Boots one.
No, stop, you're
There's
lying.
no
You're lying.
Boots
There
one.
is a Boots one.
There's no Boots
No,
one.
there is a Boots one.
No, it's proven that there was a Dora one, but there's never a Boots one.
No, there is a Boots
No.
popsicle.
No, there isn't.
100%.
And
It's
you can
blue.
look it up.
Nah, you're lying.
Look it up.
There is a Boots popsicle. Yo. No, you're lying.
Yeah.
I remember eating a Boots
You
popsicle.
don't remember it. You don't remember it. There's no Boots popsicle.
What the fuck?
It actually never existed, and there was a Bugs Bunny one which was similar.
I never had a Bugs Bunny one, but I had the Boots one.
You didn't have the Boots one because it didn't exist, bro.
Nah. I remember it.
No.
I remember it. I had the Boots one, bro.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
What the No, that's crazy. That's crazy. That might be the craziest Mandela effect. But mine's kind of blown. God,
These are the 5 stupidest deaths this week. Number 5, the 39-year-old American woman that ended up brain dead over a 4chan prank. The woman chugged 2 liters of soy sauce, which is 5 times the fatal dose of sodium intake, in an attempt to cleanse her colon. This was because of a prank called the Soy Sauce Cleanse, which was supposed to take harmful toxins out of the body. Instead, she went into cardiac arrest, had irreversible nerve damage, and ended up completely brain dead, which counts as death. Number 4, a 39-year-old man died trying to get his phone out of a paper-mache dinosaur. Somehow, he lost his phone in a dinosaur art display and decided it was a good idea to single-handedly crawl in and try and get it. He ended up getting trapped inside the dinosaur's leg and dying by suffocation. The father and son were enjoying the art installation when they suddenly noticed a weird bulge, and they were the ones to call the firefighters, who actually had to cut the dinosaur open to extract the corpse. Number 3, the owner of the Segway company who died on a Segway. In 2010, Jimmy Heselden was out walking his dog on a Segway. He was walking up to another dog walker, so he reversed his Segway to let them pass and accidentally fell off a cliff. Even more ironically, this happened just before the scheduled release of a study that suggested that Segway-related injuries were actually on the rise. Number 2, the man who turned a lava lamp into a grenade. In 2004, a man named Philip Quinn bought a new lava lamp. Hell yeah. But when it arrived and he turned it on, he decided it wasn't heating up fast enough. So he got the lava lamp, which is a glass bottle full of liquid, and he put it on the kitchen stove. Not long later at all, you can probably guess, the thing exploded, shooting a huge shard of glass directly into his heart, which killed him pretty quickly. Number 1 is just hilariously ironic, but first, before I get to it, if you like these sorts of videos, you want to know how I script, shoot, and edit stuff that's this viral all the time, actually have a full course on my page. It's great value for money, and it's the exact formula that got me over 500 million
Number
views.
1 is the pro-gun TikToker and lawyer who accidentally shot himself. Leandro Matias de Narvaez was taking his mother to hospital, but didn't think to remove the gun from his waistband when he was told not to take anything metallic into an MRI scanner. If you don't know what that is, it's effectively a huge magnet. So he's in there with his mum, the MRI turns on, the magnetic field rips the gun out of his waistband, triggering it to fire directly into his stomach. He died very shortly afterwards, but at least they didn't take his guns away.
In this video, you play a new disturbing Mario game.
It's a me.
What?
Mario.
Oh my god.
Oh, Mamma Mia. You kept me waiting.
Back up. Oh. Oh, you're gross.
We're going to have a lot of fun playing together.
Oh, no.
Before we jump in, though, how about you give Mario's mushroom schnoz a big old pull?
Bro, you're gonna stop talking to me like this.
What do you say?
I'll pass. That's what I say. Oh no, don't.
Oh, mamma mia. You're a superstar.
Oh, you're liking this too much. Oh, you're liking this way too much.
Stop now.
Oh no.
Whoa, hey, what's the rush?
I want to play the game.
I already took care of Bowser.
Why does he sound like that? Oh my.
I saw this other video too. It was of Mark Zuckerberg, actually. And you know how Mark Zuckerberg, whenever he's in interviews, he always seems off.
Yeah.
So there's this one interview, and they asked him to take off his hoodie.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I can't take it off. I can't take it. And he's sweating, bro.
That's suspect.
This guy was dripping sweat.
You want to take off the hoodie?
No, I never take off.
I know you don't. That. There's a group of women in the audience that wish you would.
Should I take off the hoodie? Look like he's like sweating his sweat.
Whoa.
What's so secret about it, right? And he takes it off.
Yeah.
And look at it. Look at it.
No, it's a thick hoodie. It's a company hoodie. We print our mission on the inside.
What? Oh, really? The inside of the hoodie, everybody.
Look at his face. Look at his reaction. He's trying to pull it back. But before continuing, I wanted to warn you guys that phones were being spied on. Click on this icon, then on more. If you see it, delete it immediately. He's trying to pull it back.
Making the...
Look, listen.
Oh my god, it's like a secret vault. Making the world open and connected. Weird symbol in the middle that is probably for the Illuminati.
Yo!
The ancient Egyptians didn't build the pyramids, but discovered them over 30,000 years later, and they even told us who the real builders were. Disclaimer, just a theory, entertainment purposes only. The Giza power plant theory explains why they were built, to deliver wireless, free, and clean energy to everyone worldwide. Now that we know why, we're asking, who was the original creator of this energy system? Nikola Tesla, one of the truly most ingenious pioneers of the past decade, proposed a global network of towers that would provide electricity to everyone around the world. Tesla himself was a little obsessed with the pyramids of Egypt and genuinely believed that they served a higher purpose. In fact, his idea of this network of energy towers was based on his studies of the pyramids, which eventually turned into the Giza power plant theory. So, were our ancient ancestors also aware of this principle of unlimited wireless energy for everyone? And how would you even use this sky energy if we had it? In Tesla's model, it would work just like radios, Wi-Fi, and cell towers do today. Every home would have a receiver that draws this energy from the atmosphere and into their home. Exactly what is seen in that of the alleged Tartarian Empire, who's said to have made use of this same energy system, which we'll explore in a future video. Don't worry about that. Receiving towers in modern times, sure, but what about 5,000 years ago? Man, if only Egypt had some sort of tall structures everywhere that could act as that contact point for this energy. Oh, obelisks made from a single piece of granite, which although not directly conductive, contains quartz, and I'ma just let my boy Michio Kaku do the talking here.
These monoliths are made out of granite, and there's some quartz inside the granite, and quartz has some rather interesting properties. If I take quartz crystal and I squeeze it, I can generate electricity. Now, some people believe that the obelisks are like lightning rods that absorb electrical energy from the heavens.
And it's been found that these obelisks were likely also capped with a conductive metal called electrum, which would have been able to receive electric currents. But no, wait, hold up. If the Egyptians really did use electricity, they should have evidence of that everywhere. That's not exactly something that you can hide. Oh, but they might, like in their famous Dendera light carving, which features what looks like a giant light bulb being held up, which no one has yet been able to explain. Or these hieroglyphs depicting a series of wires connected to what look like batteries? Of course, these are strictly speculation, but these carvings really do exist. And what about the pyramids themselves? Never mind there not being a single hieroglyph or record of their construction, which there isn't. But why are there no records of them actually using the pyramids for energy? That's because this theory suggests the Egyptians never built the pyramids. They found them. Built by another past civilization and discovered after having been dormant for tens of thousands of years. Pyramids are deemed to be at most 4,500 years old, but this is just a guess. You can't even accurately carbon date limestone or granite. Radiocarbon dating is a process that uses the half-life of carbon to find out how old something is, and contrary to popular belief, is actually pretty accurate. But it only works on things with carbon in them, like wood or bones, not rocks. The age of the pyramids was straight up guessed through historical cross-referencing as well as carbon dating studies stuff like wood inside the pyramids or the mortar between the bricks, which are pretty rough guesses at best. On top of that, the Egyptians had records of everything they did, from fishing to farming, but not a single record of them building the pyramids, the greatest achievement of their civilization. That's like climbing Mount Everest and then writing a book about what you had for breakfast a year ago. The Google debunkers love bringing up this. The Diary of Merer, a papyrus script recovered in 2013 that actually mentions the construction of the pyramids? Not really. This script only outlined the process of adding limestone casing stones to the outside of the pyramid, which I don't think anyone argues the Egyptians didn't do. Not the actual construction of the core of the pyramid, which is still nowhere to be found, so nice try. Suggesting they might have not actually built the pyramids, but discovered them from much longer ago, built by a civilization far more advanced than we could have ever imagined. Even the Egyptians themselves have records that trace their lineage of pharaohs back 30,000 years, to which we dismiss as mythology. To this day, the Edfu Temple in Egypt tells a story on its walls of a previous civilization that was, can you guess? Washed away by a global flood. And even the great Greek philosopher Plato, another revered genius of his time, mentions this same island of the gods in his work, which has come to be known as Atlantis, said to exist over 30,000 years ago, and may have been the ones who actually built the pyramids as an ancient source of energy within their civilization. That got washed away and destroyed by global cataclysmic floods, only for the Egyptians to rediscover thousands of years later. But that we'll have to save for another time, because the lost city of Atlantis is another one of those stories we see repeated everywhere throughout history, only to get swept under the rug every time. Well, it's time we took a peek under that rug.
SCP-4666 is a Keter-class entity notorious for its involvement in the Weissnacht events, particularly targeting families with young children in northern regions. Containment procedures. SCP-4666's containment focuses on monitoring and rapid response rather than physical confinement. Worldwide web traffic and law enforcement channels are observed to identify signs of SCP-4666's activity. During its active phase from December 21st to January 1st, if a Weissnacht event is suspected, containment task forces are dispatched. Efforts are made to suppress media coverage of its attacks, confiscate evidence, and administer amnestics to witnesses. Description: SCP-4666 resembles a tall, emaciated, elderly male capable of rapid global travel. It is known for its brutal ritualistic behavior during Weissnacht events, leading to torture and murder of family members, with a surviving child often abducted. Alternatively, it leaves behind SCP-4666-A, toys made from human remains. Behavior: SCP-4666 exhibits a pattern during its active phase. Early nights involve it watching targeted homes, escalating to physical disturbances. On the 12th night, it either enacts violent rituals on the family or leaves macabre gifts for children. SCP-4666 appears to have prehistoric origins and possibly acts on ancient ritualistic motives.
Portrait of Lionel the Lion-Faced Boy during the height of his fame in 1907. Stefan Bobrowski was a famous sideshow performer. His whole body was covered with long hair that gave him the appearance of a lion. This was likely due to a rare condition called hypertrichosis.
Yo, check this out. A YouTuber just found proof that aliens exist. No. The footage at the end is actually terrifying, bro. So, popular YouTuber from the United States, Luke Nichols, mostly known for his channel, The Outdoor Boys, where extreme camping and hiking dangerous locations is his way of life. He was on a hiking trip to Utah when he discovered that aliens are real. This is crazy. He was with his son Jacob when they decided to go camping in one of the red rock caves nearby. They set out to find the perfect camping spot, and as the severe heat of the desert began to eat away at them, they found the nearest cave and began to set up camp for the evening. When Luke went to hunt some food for him and Jacob, he stumbled across one of the greatest discoveries in the history of mankind. It was an alien inside a UFO type of object. It was insane. It was real. He found a real-life alien. It started to communicate with him in an American accent. He took out his phone to video it, to see the video comment, Luke Nichols alien, and we will send it via DM. Oreos, bro, are satanic. What? In what way? What the? Yo, check this out. No. Pretty much, there was this person, and they study symbols. This guy studies like symbols and religious symbols. The cross on the Oreo is a satanic cross. You know the Freemason compass? Yeah. It's also this part of the Oreo, like the triangle. And then, see, this is where it gets interesting. because now there's like stars and shit. But also,
Let me see the stars. Where are the stars? Describe
right there, it makes a star
like
out of
all
the triangles,
all
right?
corners. Fuck.
But also, now this is where it gets even crazier. The word Oreo. What the fuck does that mean, bro? What the fuck does Oreo mean?
What does it mean, bro?
Where'd they come up with that name?
I don't even know.
The word Oreo originates from an ancient Greek and Egyptian term, Orias, and that is an Egyptian serpent that people used to worship.
Bro, what?
So, you know the Mars theory?
Mars. That there's aliens on Mars?
Nah. So, there's a theory that Mars was the original planet that humans were from.
Okay.
And then something happened that we all had to fly to another planet and live on. So there used to be like civilization that lived on Mars.
But now it's all dried up, right?
Now it's all dried up. Now bag this. On Mars, there's an element on the periodic table called xenon. Now, xenon on Earth is only found, this is crazy, is only found after a nuclear explosion.
No.
What if on Mars there was a nuclear warfare, destroyed the whole planet, but people were able to escape just in time, landed on Earth, and they had to restart from nothing.
So we are the aliens.
We're the aliens.
What the hell?
Please follow, like, and share the video.
These are the 7 most disturbing pictures taken just moments before death. Number 7, this selfie taken by 3 15-year-old girls shortly before they were struck by an oncoming train that's in the selfie. Number 6, this 20-year-old man that fell into the tiger pit in New Delhi Zoo. Apparently he was trying to get closer, jumped over 2 barriers, and fell 18 feet into the exhibit. A very hungry tiger, of course, came over, inspected, and seconds after this picture was taken, did what tigers do. Number 5, this picture of David A. Johnson just 13 hours before the eruption of Mount St. Helens took his life. Now, he was a very dedicated volcano scientist and was studying Mount St. Helens. His last words, which he transmitted over radio to his colleagues, were, "Vancouver, Vancouver, this is it." By "this is it," he means the volcano is erupting and I'm going to. Number 4, this photo of a 17-year-old silverback gorilla, Harambe, before he was fatally shot by I'm not doing this one. Number 3, this Brazilian priest shortly before attempting to set the world record by flying with a cluster of helium balloons for more than 19 hours. Shortly after this picture was taken, he was never seen again. Number 2, Martin Luther King Jr. This picture was taken just mere moments before MLK was assassinated by James Earl Ray. You can see he's greeting a gathering of supporters. It is amazing how much history was seconds away from happening. Number 1, my absolute favorite, but first, if you like content like this, please drop me a follow. But number 1, this guy accidentally jet skiing off of Niagara Falls. So Robert Overacker was trying to raise awareness for the homeless by jet skiing off of Niagara Falls and then parachuting down. Unfortunately for him, the parachute didn't open and he lost his life. And this is the last picture taken of him.
My name is Jack the Ripper, and in the fall of 1888 I terrified all of London with my string of horrific murders. Despite never being caught, I'm the first serial killer to cause a worldwide media frenzy. I only targeted alcoholic prostitutes. I would wait until 12 a.m. and I would go out on the slums of London and find a whore who was on a corner with little traffic. Once I found my victim, I would mutilate their bodies and take their organs. The surgical accuracy of my kills led many investigators to believe I was a surgeon. I was always one step ahead of the detectives. They never even got close to catching me, despite giving their best efforts. In 1892, they closed my case due to lack of evidence, which upset me because I enjoyed toying with the detectives. My murders are still regarded as one of the greatest unsolved crimes to ever exist. It is impossible to discuss the world's greatest serial killers without bringing up my name. How rare it is when someone so infamous is never caught.
Do you know the real story behind Sesame Street? The real story of Sesame Street is taken from a psycho laboratory beneath the streets of New York. Big Bird, the result of gene splicing. His feathers a patchwork of vibrant yellow, a giant amongst the ordinary. Elmo, with his incessant laughter, wasn't always joyful. It was a condition, a reaction to the severe isolation and sensory deprivation he endured. His red fur a mark of the blood spilled in his creation. The Count, obsessed with numbers, was once a brilliant mathematician, driven mad by a relentless pursuit of quantifying the infinite, his mind now trapped in a loop of endless counting. Cookie Monster's insatiable hunger for cookies, a side effect of a drug meant to increase metabolism. His blue fur a sign of his oxygen-deprived brain during the early trials. So Sesame Street is a psychological operation. Follow for more real horror stories.
Uh-oh. There's a car right there. On second thought, I might just want to wrap this up a little quicker here. Oh God, someone's right out there. Oh my God. Was that a gunshot? He had something in his hand too. It must have been a gun. It was going so good and it just all went wrong. I can't see him anywhere. The worst thing is I don't know where he is. I've got several different possible ways I could get out of here, but I don't know which side he's on, so I don't know which sides to avoid. We gotta get to the creek. Whoa, whoa.
Stop right there.
Whoa. Oh, it's just me. You scared me to death.
Okay, get over there now.
What?
Sit down. Get your handcuffs.
Huh?
Put them on. I can put them on, you can put them on. Take your pick.
Pyramids are not tombs. Changed my mind. This is a real Egyptian tomb, you know, where mummies of pharaohs were actually found. Grand entrances, spacious hallways, lavish architecture, art, and carvings everywhere commemorating their deaths. And this is the burial chamber in the biggest tomb in the world, the Great Pyramid of Giza. A plain and uncentered granite box in a boring room with no carvings nor art, like anywhere in the entire pyramid. Oh, and no mummy was found here either. It was stolen by thieves who apparently took the hieroglyphs on the walls too. Here's an actual sarcophagus for a cat. And another one for a person. Here are a few more from the same time period as Giza, all covered with majestic carvings and hieroglyphs that were crucial for preparing bodies for the afterlife. And that's the sarcophagus in Giza, the biggest and most important tomb ever built. The pyramid itself is just awkward to navigate, with tight corridors and questionable architecture apparently designed to stop thieves. Meanwhile, the Valley of Kings is an absolute marvel, what you'd expect royalty to be buried in with no attempt at keeping grave robbers out. Oh, what's that? The Valley of Kings was made over 1,000 years after Giza, during which time I guess they learned how to carve and paint on the walls of tombs, despite there being hieroglyphs far older than Giza itself. Well, what about the tombs at Saqqara, which are as old as Giza, yet adorned with the carvings, architecture, and even statues that you'd expect from a sacred burial chamber? If tombs looked like this 4,500 years ago, why would the most important one ever built during the same time look like that? Nice try, Google debunkers. Maybe try DuckDuckGo.
Because this might be the biggest conspiracy we've ever talked about on the podcast. It's something that's gonna happen on April 8th, literally next week.
Okay.
But this one's fucked.
Why?
Back in the day, we hear like, oh, 2012 is the end of the world type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of these prophecies, oh, there's another solar eclipse, something's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
But all of those, fam, they've been like Mayan calendar. But this time it's what?
What?
It's the Bible, fam. Canada, Ontario. Literally, where we live, fam. They're declaring April 8th as a state of emergency.
Oh, they
declared it as a state of emergency on April 8th. As such, many other countries. Why? In the Bible, Matthew 12:39, you won't receive a sign for the apocalypse or for the end of days. Only the prophet Jonah will be your sign, right? Now check this out. In the story of Jonah, he was the one swallowed by the whale, remember?
Yeah.
So the whole story with that was he had to save this city called Nineveh. The people of Nineveh were sinning and they didn't believe in God and they were doing all this nonsense. Pretty much Jonah, his job by God was, you have to go and convince the people of Nineveh to stop sinning and believe in me so that I will save all of them. Remember where he was swallowed by the whale, and then that was where he was deciding, he was running away from God, and he was stuck in the whale, and he decided, okay, you know what, I'm gonna listen to you, and he got spat out by the whale.
Okay.
After how many days? 3 days. Remember 3 days of what?
Of dark.
3 days of darkness. This is where it gets fucked. We're talking about Nineveh, remember? The solar eclipse is passing through 8 towns called Nineveh.
Yeah.
In this video, you learn about the monster that hunts you in your own home.
Hey, look at all the animals on his wall. Oh my God! Oh, bruh. You are dead. You gonna fall asleep? Nah, bro has a death wish. There's no way I'm falling asleep right there. It trapped you in there. Oh. I still want to know what animal that is, bruh. Oh yeah. Oh, it's over.
This man was building a pool in his backyard and found something terrifying.
No way.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Just 3 days ago, Michael was digging out an area in his backyard for a pool that he had planned to build. Everything was going well until his shovel struck something solid. As Michael kept mining around it, eventually he uncovered a massive tunnel right in his backyard. He was in disbelief, and at first he was a little scared to go in. After speaking with his wife, he grabbed the flashlight and finally went in, and what he saw is terrifying.
No way.
The tunnel was 20 meters in length, and at the end of it was a wooden door. On the other side of the door was a chamber that was completely filled with gold coins, like it was straight out of a movie. The chamber also contained many caskets, with each of them containing skeletons. Who are they, and why are they here? Michael asked himself, moments after he heard someone approaching behind him in the tunnel. He turned around and it was just his wife. But something was off about her. Her eyes were solid white. She looked up. She then said, "You were not supposed to find me." "I'm sorry, Michael," and began approaching him with a knife, almost as if her mind were hijacked. Michael threw his flashlight at her and managed to run around and lock her inside the chamber. When police arrive on scene, they're all shocked. Comment for part 2.
It's called Kuyang.
What is that?
People believe that when it goes around, it's only the head, the hair,
and the
the
guts.
organs.
Yeah.
And the organs. And there was a video I'm gonna show you that recently surfaced where they were on a farm and there was like goats, right?
Yeah.
And below it was the Kuyang, and it was like slithering on the ground. I'll show you.
I'm pretty sure that's the Philippines too.
It is?
That's a common thing in the Philippines.
Nah, just
I think the lore of that was she was a woman that had a baby.
Yeah.
And I think she was murdered and she lost her child. So because she lost her child, she roams the world looking for pregnant women to torment.
Look, you'll see it. Look, you'll see it. Look, you see the. So this is what it looks like. You'll see kind of the hair, and look, you'll see them trying to slither it out.
It's right there, no?
Yeah. Look.
Yeah.
So it's
Ew,
just,
bro.
fam. Like it's became so crazy.
These are the 7 films with the deadliest on-set accidents. Number 7, the original Top Gun. This movie was, of course, groundbreaking at the time because of all the stuntmen it employed to do all the aircraft stunts. Sadly, one of these stuntmen, named Art Scholl, failed to recover from a spin and lost his life during filming. He crashed into the Pacific Ocean and neither the plane or him were ever recovered. So maybe he's still out there. Number 6, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. So Daniel Radcliffe's stunt performer, David Holmes, was his stunt double for the entire first 6 films. So David Holmes was testing a stunt sequence called the Jerk Back for Deathly Hallows Part 1, but something went wrong. He was slammed into a wall, landed on a crash mat, but sadly broke his neck. Although he didn't die, he just was left paralyzed for the rest of his life, but he and Daniel Radcliffe actually now share a podcast. Pretty sick. Number 5, Deadpool 2. So stunt performer and motorcyclist Joy Harris was filming a scene where she fills in for Zazie Beetz' character. Rehearsals all went successfully, but when it came to actually filming, she had to dress up as Beetz' character, and because of on-set time constraints, they didn't put adequate safety gear under the costume. As a result, she wasn't wearing a helmet, she lost control of the motorbike, hit the curb, thrown through the window of a building, and pronounced dead on the scene. Number 4, Midnight Rider. You're probably thinking, I haven't heard of that film, and that's because this occurred on day 1 of shooting. So day 1 of shooting, the first shot they needed to get happened to take place on a live railroad track. You probably see where this is going. The producers and the director, however, were under the assumption that the track just wasn't in use. But suddenly, a train approached in the distance and the cast and crew scrambled to get off the track. But they didn't have enough time to get all their props, and the second camera assistant, Sarah Jones, got thrown onto the track in front of the train and died on impact. Number 3, The Dark Knight. Stunt performer Conway Wycliffe died during one of the movie's car chases. He was leaning out the passenger side of a car to get a shot for a stunt sequence when his driver failed to make a turning and they both collided into a tree. He died at the scene. Number 2, The Crow. The Crow was a film whose protagonist was played by Brandon Lee, the son of Bruce Lee. Shooting one of the last scenes in the movie, the prop department accidentally loaded a revolver with live rounds. So when it came to shooting at the main character, Brandon Lee, he was actually shot in the abdomen and died very shortly after. Number 1 is probably the deadliest on-set accident in movie history. Before I get to it, please drop a follow. I'm a small creator and it really helps me out. Number 1, Twilight Zone the movie. So while filming the first sequence of the movie, Vic Morrow and his 2 children were all killed by a falling helicopter. The helicopter was flying low for a shot and was jolted by pyrotechnics that are a bit more powerful than it was ready for.
So there's a Filipino nurse that was recording herself.
Yeah.
And her house was literally haunted. So this is what happened. So it was her in front of the camera and her little brother recording, right? So everything was normal and she started talking, like doing the demonstration, and then the light flickered, right? And the brother pans it up.
Verify the client's identity and provide...
Ano ito?
Oh, what is that? What is that? And she's like, bro, it's okay. Maybe it's just electricity. Keep it rolling, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So she keeps going. The demonstration happens. Something in the closet makes a loud bang, right? And she jolts and goes to the camera and turns it off right away.
Sige na. 1, 2, 3, go. Now that I have introduced myself to the patient,
so it keeps going, fam. That night, she sets up security camera. The closet door makes a little creak, same shit. Boom, boom, smashes. But instead, in the footage, they see like a hand sticking out of the closet.
Nah. Have you heard that? A guy just captured La Llorona on camera in New Mexico.
What?
So listen, just 2 days ago, this guy named William Johnson made a terrifying discovery upon returning home. So while driving, he noticed a big thunderstorm forming. It was nearing midnight, and he was still an hour from home when his car just lost power and turned off. Frustrated, William got out the car to notice his drive belt had ripped. And stuck without cell service and with the storm rolling in, he decided to hoof it home and deal with the car in the morning. But before telling you the rest, remember, I can only protect my followers who have commented their name and added the video to their favorites. As William walked through the side of the dirt road, he heard whispers of a woman. He looked back, but no human soul was near. Then deep in the forest, heard a woman cry out. William, out of panic, took out his phone to call for help, but still had no service. So instead, he decided to record, and right after he looked up, bam, he saw her. A figure in a white wedding dress floating off the ground deep in the trees. So he quickly ran without looking back to a random person house. In shock, he told them about what had occurred. Unfortunately, they just assumed he was drunk. Just yesterday, William decided to release the footage. To see it, click here on more, then photo.
SCP-1437 is classified as safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-1437 is surrounded by a 2-meter-tall electric fence, patrolled by security teams. Items or organisms emerging from SCP-1437 must be tested for hazards and then examined. Experimentation with SCP-1437 is strictly prohibited. Description: SCP-1437 is a seemingly bottomless hole, 3 meters by 3 meters, located in the desert. It serves as an access point to multiple parallel universes. Objects periodically emerge from SCP-1437 at high speeds, including a U.S. quarter, a Spanish map of an alternate North America, a radically altered photograph of New York, golden discs requesting rain, and documents from other universes. Notably, during 2000 to 20, numerous individuals, primarily in D-Class uniforms, emerged dead from SCP-1437. These individuals carried documentation on SCP-1437 from their respective universes, suggesting a desire for inter-universal cooperation. Documentations from different universes showed varying descriptions and containment procedures for SCP-1437, ranging from a tourist attraction to a ritualistic site, reflecting the diverse nature of each universe's interpretation and understanding of SCP-1437.
the raw, unfiltered scientific proof for what the pyramids were really built for. This is what a real Egyptian tomb looks like, and this is the biggest tomb in the world, the Great Pyramid of Giza. The closer you look, the more you realize this pyramid was definitely not made for burying the dead, because the materials they used to build it are exactly what we'd use today to create an electric current. Giza used to be covered with bright white casing stones that were virtually airtight, made out of polished limestone brought from Tura, a quarry 500 miles away. Oh, they just wanted the pyramids to look all nice and white and cute, right? So much that they were willing to drag stones the length of Florida away to do so, for the aesthetic. This special limestone from Tura happens to have less magnesium in it than regular limestone, making it an ideal insulator of electricity, as well as perfect for reflecting sunlight to keep the inside cool. The interior chambers of the pyramid were built with rose granite containing 85% quartz, which is piezoelectric, meaning it produces a small electric charge when moved or squeezed, the same quartz that's used to power a watch battery or a barbecue lighter. Granite also ionizes the air inside the chambers, which further increases the conductivity of electricity. On top of being sourced from Aswan, another quarry hundreds of miles away, the granite slabs inside Giza have these weird structural designs to them that don't exactly look good and are just incredibly difficult to make. Why on earth would you build a roof like this that just makes the job 10 times harder, using 80-ton stone blocks from hundreds of miles away that you can't even see from inside the chamber when it's done? Historians will tell you they were relieving chambers, meant to keep the room from collapsing from the great weight of the pyramid overhead, even though the chambers below had no such relief. On the other hand, if you were somehow able to apply pressure to these chambers, you'd get an electric charge from the quartz. A lot of it. But electricity can't just exist if we want to utilize it for energy. It needs to get directed through something in order for us to make use of it, an electric current. Copper is often used in wires to do just that. And take a wild guess what a remote camera revealed in the pyramid's narrow shafts just a few years back. 2 copper handles embedded into the stone at the end of the shaft, the only metal to have ever been confirmed in Giza, as well as a set of what appear to be instructions that looks like a wiring diagram painted on the side of the shaft, to which modern Egyptologists claim these handles were used with ropes to pull jars up the shaft. They're just getting desperate at this point. These shafts really have no confirmed purpose. They're commonly referred to as air vents, but some of them don't even lead to the outside. In 2013, former Egyptian Antiquities Minister Zahi Hawass was accused of theft of Egyptian artifacts from the pyramid. In the list of items rumored to have been stolen, there was one that stood out from the rest. Long copper wires. A strange artifact by any means, and just what you'd need to complete an electric current. So were the pyramids built as giant batteries? I mean, we have all the pieces in place, but how exactly would this battery even work? Aerospace engineer Chris Dunn popularized the Giza power plant theory by kinda proving it with actual science, hard numbers, and a scale model. From the top, this is what the inside of Giza looks like: a top or king's chamber with a lower queen's chamber underneath it, a large slanted shaft, the grand gallery, connecting both chambers, and a bottom subterranean chamber with a bunch of long narrow shafts leading into each. According to Dunn, the pyramid is what's called a coupled oscillator, a device that's connected to a larger vibrating body in such a way that energy can be transferred between them, converting vibrational energy, the natural resonance of the earth, into microwave energy. Now the earth, it vibrates, producing frequencies in the form of natural underground seismic activity, the Schumann resonances in Earth's electromagnetic fields, as well as the movement of water in key locations just below Earth's surface, which also creates vibrational frequencies. The entire process starts in the subterranean chamber, which was built directly above underground aquifers with powerful flowing water right under the pyramids. A convenient location for the perfect coincidence theory. It's said that the flowing water and possibly even seismic activity of the Earth would create vibrational waves that resonate throughout the pyramid. Vibrational waves that would be maximized at the center of mass of any object, and Giza just so happens to sit at the center of landmass of the world. Coincidence. Now the real kicker was when traces of zinc and hydrochloric acid were found in the shafts leading into the Queen's Chamber. Dunn suggests that some ancient form of these two chemicals were poured down the shafts and mixed together in the chamber, which would trigger a chemical reaction, one that releases hydrogen gas, a proven process using the exact trace chemicals that were found in the shafts. The gas would travel from the Queen's Chamber through the Grand Gallery and up into the King's Chamber, while the pressure of the gas compresses the granite quartz and creates piezoelectricity, another proven process. The vibrations from below would trigger resonators in the Grand Gallery, which it was believed that 27 acoustic devices were placed in the empty slots that can be found here. The compressed quartz would create the spark for the vibrations to energize the hydrogen atoms into a microwave energy beam, which would reach the King's Chamber through this 4.8 times 8.4 inch watertight shaft cut into the granite. Conveniently, the perfect size for the hydrogen microwave wavelength at 21 centimeters, and the exact dimensions of what we'd call call a waveguide today, a structure that guides the transmission of energy waves in one direction. And let me remind you, granite is harder than steel. Cutting a shaft like this is damn near impossible with known ancient technology, and definitely not something they do for fun. These microwaves would further resonate in the King's Chamber, which was tuned to a very specific frequency using those layers of stones in the roof. Remember those incredibly difficult stones above the chamber? That's how they tuned the pyramid's frequency. The sarcophagus in this room is expected to have been some source of high voltage, like the Baghdad battery, to further ionize the hydrogen and make that room superconductive. Gold-capped pips, as we believe the pyramids to have had, would also make the perfect conductor to attract the electricity and send it up into the atmosphere. Sounds like it's time for me to take my meds. A super pseudoscientific theory and highly theoretical at that, until you realize in 2018, studies proved that the pyramids can focus electromagnetic energy in their internal chambers and also directly beneath them. That's real, quantifiable, scientific evidence that supports this theory. Many archaeologists also report electromagnetic readings inside of the pyramids and directly above them. So the pyramid's exterior was made with an insulator, the interior with conductors, and the chambers with material that produces electricity. Are these all just coincidences? And even if we did have electricity generated in the pyramids, how would this energy even be distributed for everyone to use? Our boy Tesla may have known the answer and was silenced from revealing it to the world. Let's see if it's up.
If you are ever in the Pine Barrens of South Jersey and you hear this sound, run and don't look back. What you heard might just be the Jersey Devil. The Jersey Devil is notorious for abducting children and travelers who stray near the Pine Barrens, harming livestock, and even entering homes in pursuit of human victims. The Pine Barrens are over 1.1 million acres of untamed woods in southern New Jersey. Due to dense forests, winding rivers, and sandy, often indistinct paths, many people, including experienced hikers, get lost. The Pine Barrens are known most famously for two things: being a burial ground for the victims of the Mafia and the Jersey Devil. The origin of the Jersey Devil is almost as chilling as the beast itself. In the 18th century, in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey, a woman known as Mother Leeds found herself pregnant for the 13th time. Mother Leeds was already struggling to support her existing children, and in frustration or despair, she cursed the child, proclaiming that it would be a devil. According to legend, when the child was born, it appeared normal at first, but then underwent a horrific transformation. It morphed into a creature with a goat or horse-like head, bat-like wings, hooves, and a forked tail. Emitting a blood-curdling scream, the creature savagely attacked its mother, midwife, and its brothers and sisters, then flew through the roof and vanished into the Pine Barrens. From that day on, the creature, dubbed the Jersey Devil, roamed the Pine Barrens, allegedly terrorizing local residents and travelers and giving rise to numerous sightings. Reported sightings of the infamous 13th child are plentiful and go back for centuries, one of the earliest dating back to 1812, when Joseph Bonaparte, the elder brother of Napoleon, reported seeing the creature while hunting near his estate in Bordentown. Subsequent sightings, along with incidents of animal attacks, peculiar footprints, and testimonies from individuals who purportedly encountered the creature, contributed to the expansion of the legend.
There's a crazy AI theory. So you know that lo-fi girl on YouTube?
Yeah.
So there's whole lore about this now. So it's the one where you want to lock in and study. So you search up lo-fi and there's a girl in like a green pullover and she's writing tests and there's a cat behind her, right?
Yeah.
So there's a theory going on and how she went missing recently. So
I think I heard a little bit.
So what happens is nobody in the community knows what happens to her or like where she went, right? But in the back of her window, there's like a building with there's like a blue light that flickers.
Yeah.
And supposedly that's Morse code for something. So a lot of people in the community were putting random numbers in the chat and then deleting it so nobody knows what it was. But recently, the scene on that YouTube video changed. So it wasn't her writing with a cat behind her no more. It was the blue room. It was the blue room with only a door and that was it. So the community's like what does this symbolize? And no one knows where she went or what she's doing right now. But the whole theory is like, is this the end because she got kidnapped? Is this the end of the sleeping streak?
Nah, but I heard the continuation.
Oh, what was the
I actually know what happened.
Wait, what?
So what happened, there's a lo-fi boy now.
Oh, so it's gonna be a boy.
There's a lo-fi boy, and the boy is in a blue room, and he has a dog. He has a puppy.
Here are the 5 deadliest film sets ever. Number 5, The Wizard of Oz. Yes, the snow was asbestos. Everyone knows that. But did you know the actors that played the Munchkins were extremely gropey and alcoholics? In fact, they borderline S.A. Judy Garland several times. The actress playing the witch caught fire during a scene and suffered severe and permanent burns. And Judy Garland was forced onto a diet of amphetamines and cigarettes so she would stay slim for the role. Also, the actor who played Toto the dog was paid more than any one of the Munchkins. Number 4, The Omen. Basically, the production was haunted. The crew's plane was struck by lightning 3 times. 2 locations they visited were bombed by the IRA. And the special effects consultant John Richardson was in a car crash that killed his passenger, and when he got out of the car, he had crashed by a sign that said Omen 66.6, and it was Friday the 13th. Ooh. Number 3, The Conqueror and How It Killed 46 members of the crew. This film is a bit dated, you can tell because John Wayne depicted a Mongol chief like this, but this film was shot downwind from a nuclear testing site. The director, the crew, and the key actors all developed cancer, which resulted in 46 early deaths. It was so bad that John Wayne's children visited the set for a single day, saw their dad in yellowface, and then both developed cancer, like immediately. Number 2, Raw. This movie was shot with 150 untrained lions, tigers, and other predators. Of course, there were many incidents. Tippi Hedren was bitten by a lion, needing 38 stitches. Melanie Griffith had her face mauled, needing 50 stitches. And the cinematographer was scalped by a lion. Before number 1, real quick, if you like fucked up shit like this, please drop me a follow. It really helps me out. Thank you. So number 1, the catastrophic Noah's Ark. The director was completely inexperienced in filmmaking. Regardless, he was given a huge budget and told to make something big. So when it came to the big flood scene in Noah's Ark, he said no to using miniatures, which is the standard for doing big set pieces like this. Instead, he said fuck it and used 600,000 gallons of water. 3 extras drowned during the filming, another one needed their leg amputated, and dozens of others suffered broken bones and various injuries.
They collapsed my tent on me. I don't know which way they went. They're just standing there. What do you want? Leave me alone!
Somebody's out there. I don't know if they're coming this way or just walking around out there. I can't tell. Somebody's definitely walking around out there, though. Hang on.
Hello? I'm getting the f*** out of here. Hello? I don't know what the f*** this is, but we're getting out of here. Hang on. Hello? What do you want? What do you want? They collapsed my tent on me and pulled the fly off while I was still in there. It smells like someone's smoking a cigarette too. I smell your cigarette! I'm leaving, don't follow me! I don't know where to go. I don't know which way to get out of here. I smell your cigarette, I can hear you! I hear you! Stay away from me! They're coming behind me. I don't know what they're doing.
I'm Lorraine Warren, and this is my home. We've lived here, I guess about 40 years now. This is where everything started. Everything started about our work.
Something awful happened here, Ed.
What is it?
Whatever Lorraine sees, feels, touches, it takes a toll on her. A little piece each time.
It's been quite a career, and I'm still involved. I'm still involved with hauntings, you know, in helping people get through. It's a very delicate thing with certain people because they're very terrified and very frightened. But there's a lot of people that don't believe.
You have a lot of spirits in here, but there's one that I'm most worried about because it is so hateful.
Okay, so let's go in. I'll show you the house. There's a lot of pictures of us in the house. Here's one of the pictures of Ed and I.
You guys were inseparable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were. We didn't do anything without one another. Probably one of the most haunted places in the world because of the things that are in here. Everything in here has been taken from some place where people were either killed or maimed or so many ways. So it's tragic for me, you know, to even go in. People are very, very interested in the museum. And there's some people that are afraid to even go in. Right here is a conjuring mirror. everything and anything in here we have investigated. Don't ever touch anything. And if you do, let me know. This is the worst thing in here. It's that doll. I'm not gonna stare at it though. So you can take the picture, but I'm not gonna stare at it because that has done bad harm on a lot of people. You have to conjure the spirits in order to get them. You know, you're not going to get them by just walking around here.
And that's the one that's sort of depicted a little bit in this movie, correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's the Annabelle doll. Yes.
Father, and of the Son, of the Holy Spirit, amen.
What has been done is circular embolism, which is prayers, are said all the time, you know, to pray.
And you have a priest to bless.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Yes, oh my God, yes. I can't do that.
It's November 1st, 1971. I'm sitting here with Carolyn Perrin, who, with her family, has been experiencing supernatural occurrences.
The children were badly affected, really badly affected. That was a typical place. I mean, that was a very, very, very bad place. It's not easy. It's not easy, you know. You know, you see things and experience things. It's more comfortable now. It's a lot more comfortable for me.